What's up, everyone? Welcome to a 1v1 game featuring two of the new civilizations coming in the Three Kingdoms DLC. I think these are the two that people are most excited about. So we've got the Jurchens here in the blue, played by myself. And then here in the red, we've got good old friend Nilly playing as the Katans here. So Jurchens versus Katans, 1v1 Arabia. We wanted to get some testing in to get a feel for the civs, but also to test things out. So since these civs are new, let's introduce them ever so slightly. We're going to start with the civilization here in the blue that I've already made a video or two on, the Jurchens. So you can see their bonuses on screen now. The big one for me with their eco is the meat of hunted livestock animals doesn't decay. Now, I'm going to actually adjust my build based on this because typically you would want to have a certain amount of villagers on a resource. So the bonuses are kind of on the left. I know it's hard for you to see everything, but we've got the 4 villagers on this. You would never want to do this because there'd be more decay. I only need so much on food because I'm still getting the same amount of food. So that's a very nice thing about the build. Mounted units and fire lancers attack 20% faster. We'll definitely see that this game. Siege engineers available in Castle Age. Siege fortifications upgrade costs minus 75% wood and research 100% faster. And then units receive minus 50% friendly fire damage. That's going to be for some of their other bonuses later on. Their Iron Pagoda unique unit is a strong cavalry unit. They also have a gunpowder unit from their archery range. And then their unique text, fortified bastions. Their buildings regenerate, which is pretty crazy in my opinion. And then thunderclap bombs. This is why the earlier bonus was necessary. Rocket carts, grenadiers, and luchwans detonate when defeated. Projectiles produce additional explosions. So that is why they have less friendly fire, because that can potentially produce friendly fire. So those are their bonuses. And I know this is a little bit of a mouthful, but these are new civs. So I felt like we should talk about this. And now we move over to the Katans here. Now, this civilization is classed as an infantry and cavalry civilization. And they have, their big eco is the pastures, which from what I've tested so far, from what I've seen, pastures are incredibly strong. Pastures replace farms, so they just simply do not have farms. And then on top of that, shepherds and herders generate 10% additional food. So the sheep that, or I guess the cows that Nilly will be bringing in here, that's going to be helpful and will be lots of food to work with. Now, what are you going to spend that food on? Well, their skirms, their spears, and scouts train and upgrade 25% faster. That's an insane upgrade for a map like Arabia, which we're playing here. And then heavy cavalry archer is available in the Castle Age. Do keep in mind this civ does not get bloodlines, though. So they won't be as tanky as normal cav archers. You still need to go in for the other techs. The Li Dao is the infantry unique unit. They also have a mounted trebuchet, which is a siege cavalry unit, which we'll definitely see. And then they have 2 unique techs. They have the Lemelar armor, which is infantry and skirms, reflect 25% melee damage back to the attacker, which is completely new to the game. They're reflecting damage, which is crazy. And then Ordo cavalry generates HP in combat. So they also have the team bonus of infantry plus to attack versus ranged soldiers. But anyways, we're here. So I know that was a mouthful, but I wanted to go through the bonuses. And now, if you've been paying attention, I mentioned at the start, right, how I sent more to wood early because I wouldn't lose food. Well, that's because I figured with that bonus, like the best way to take advantage of still getting the same amount of food, even if you have lesser villagers on the food, is to actually spend it earlier. And thus go to wood earlier. I'm going to go for a little bit of a drush for some control. Nilly and I, this is first game of the day vibes. We're playing on, other accounts where we're doing our testing. In my case, I didn't have all the mods. I even were missing some hotkeys. So basically, I figured a drush could be pretty good to start it all off to make things awkward. And it worked out for me is he wanted to go super fast scout, so he skipped loom. So I've got some potential to do damage here. I don't necessarily believe I'm going to do damage because I haven't gone in to truly attack the vills the whole time. But that is, in my mind, already worth it for me. I'm curious to see if his barracks and stable will be delayed now. But it should be. House was delayed. Villagers had to shift around. Stuff like this adds up, right? That villager's not working. This is... Old school drush was just designed to delay. Delay, frustrate, annoy, and not necessarily get kills while your eco at home should be pretty smooth. And guys, I was amazed. Like, I have so much cow left. It's pretty crazy. I'm still eating 2 cows. There's still 200 food there. And then you also have those other cows here as well. Like, typically, your eco is just feeling a lot worse. So I'm not saying that drush with the Jurchens is necessarily the best play. But, like, in general, you're just going to feel like you don't run out of your res as quickly. It's a very smooth feeling. So, Nearly makes it to the next stage. I'm just going to stay here. I don't peel my scout away because his scout could just come pick me off because he's in feudal age. And I decided, again, we've got that extra food. Let's go for some additional militia. And let's try and group these up with the new ones. And back this up with some man-at-arms. I've got all these resources. I need to spend it, right? And for perspective, like, Nilly and I are around 2,200, 2,300 elo. He's been around the game for so long. Now he was a content creator who was a big part, a foundation of, like, why the game came back. Tournament host, pro player. And now he works for World's Edge, for Microsoft. Now, here's your first look at a pasture, okay? So I played Nilly. I will encounter the pasture in the game. But there is the pasture here. Now, Capture Age isn't fully prepared for this, so it's going to say missing string on some of this stuff. But this generates food. Now, the villagers... to be honest with you, I need to test pastures a little bit more. Because I'm not sure how many villagers you could put on the pasture. But it seems like... It's kind of like the villagers are working on... some goats that are in there. You can't see it because of the TC. They're working on animals. Again, it replaces the farm, which remains consistent with the farm where you have, like, 1 villager on a farm. But yeah, so that's happening. His scouts are chasing me right now. My man-at-arms are just battering there on the house. And behind this, I'm going to go spearmen. I'm going to go archers. And things are feeling pretty good for me. Now, right off the bat, one thing I want to talk about with pastures, you can't... it's not like farms where you can get horse collar and all these upgrades to make them stronger. So I'm very curious if there's upgrades that can upgrade the pasture. That may or may not show up here in Capture Age. And obviously, there, now you can see it. So the pasture generates the hunt, which you can't exactly click, and they can't run away. I don't think you could steal the other player's hunt, for example. But anyways, Nilly's done a great job to play defensive. He does pick off a spearman there. But I've been able to sneak forward here with the man-at-arms, with the archer, and with the spears. And all we did was force idle time this game, which isn't necessarily the best, but it was fine for the start. He hasn't been able to get any damage in against us, which is nice. And my scout's been active to see if he's open on the other side. I know his gold's back there. Obviously, his wood will eventually run out. I didn't want him to wall up. And we're talking new civs now, but it's still new patch, right? So infantry's a little bit faster. And then I don't know. I'm getting armor on infantry a lot right now just to get a feel. I just felt like a extra tank for the infantry would be helpful here. The skirms don't do much damage against infantry already, so you could question whether or not that 100 food is worth it. But again, in my mind, I mean, I just ran out of cow. That's a lot of cow. I figured I'm pretty good. And I'm delaying him from going to gold to maybe go into his own archers. We haven't killed a lot, but we are controlling the game. And we're doing a lot of annoying little chip damage, which gives you time for other things. So his scouts didn't accomplish a ton. They're going to loop around now, which I didn't have vision on. But I knew I had to have the spears with the archers to move forward. And so, like I said, chipping away here. Now, Nilly's been very pasture heavy here. So he's got 5 pastures. They're quite large. And so getting that many pastures in there is pretty creative. Kind of reminds me of a full work when you're trying to farm with the poles. Obviously, the poles you have to place the farms, but the spacing's different. Nilly catch me napping here. There's scouts looped all the way around. I lose that villager. Did not notice. And I think he expected a garrison there. I actually garrisoned late, but good to know Nilly expects better of me. And so I lose that 1 vill. And my infantry gets a little close to the town center here, but we've still got a lot of army. A lot of army. I was disappointed that I delayed... That I didn't... I was disappointed I didn't deny the blacksmith, sorry, because I already have blacksmith upgrades. And now I kind of figure he's going to get upgrades on the skirms. But our resources are still feeling pretty good. Res collected, we've maintained a lead. That should change over time. Because he has that one villager lead. I don't have horse color on the farms. I do have wheelbarrow. So Eco's moving pretty efficiently. And Nilly's probably focusing on the walls here. He's probably wondering where my army is. He might see that I'm coming in on this side. And so Nilly took some hits from the spear there. Nothing crazy. But now he needs to quick wall. And he gets the quick walls down. If I would run in there, that might actually be game ending. I've got enough archers and man-at-arms to kill quite a few vills. Honestly, I could have been a little bit faster there. But unfortunately, I'm very human. Now, this is interesting. Like, I was confused. I didn't actually click the hunt. I do not know right now if you can click the hunt in the pastures. I'm going to assume you cannot do that. But yeah, he didn't have his army here. And I was like, do I run in there? Like, that's such a weird area to bump around. And so here comes Nilly. He's got tons of skirms, which makes sense because I've gone archers and infantry. And this is bad for me. These villagers, if they run, they would die to scouts. So here I have to fight this off with villagers to the best of my ability. I lose a villager on the gold. I lose a villager on the tower. I am on the way to Castle H. But there is kind of a problem I may face. And you can tell I'm completely falling apart here. Like, the archers, I thought were in this group. They're not. They all die. I look back later wondering where they are. And, yeah. But the issue with my civ is I don't actually get access to knights, which I forgot. But it ends up working out because not having knights isn't that big a deal if you have really solid lancers. So remember, they're mounted units, and fire lancers attack 20% faster starting in feudal. So I think that will apply to the scouts in general. But lancers don't cost a lot of gold. I don't have a lot on gold because, you know, we lost a couple of vills there. And my eco's mainly very food and wood heavy. So I wasn't actually that disappointed. Nearly, he killed 4 vills, but he's really all in right now. He still isn't up to the next stage. And he knows, because I've stopped army production, and by what he's seeing, that I must be up. Obviously, if I was staying in feudal age, I would have had more army there. And so, we fight this back a little bit. His vills are there for the taking. But you always want to take the army first, because the vills are going to be free kills after the army's gone. So that was my logic here. And I've got a couple scouts on the way. I reached Castle Age at a pretty reasonable time, considering all the army I made. 1 villager killed. It's going to be 2 villager kills. Also, this scout as well killed a villager. And I just sent it back into the woodline because I figured Nilly was distracted. And so that's going to be 4-4 on the Eco KD. He does notice that. So he doesn't lose another one. And he is on the way to Castle Age. So it's a really nice game. Like, we came in here and we were like... So some of these games we're going to kind of somewhat... Script is the wrong word. But we want to test certain things. My goal is to play more games. And obviously I'm really open to feedback. And I hope you guys are enjoying this already. But this game, I said literally... Nilly, let's just play Arabia. Let's just play Arabia. Let's just see how it flows. And it's going to feel scripted because we really take advantage of so many of these different bonuses. I think Capture Age is going to have to figure out how the food situation works here. Because right now it says 1 on food. That's going to have to be adapted with the Capture Age program. Because clearly we've got a lot of villagers in there working on food. I guess it's just not ready yet. The DLC doesn't come out till, what, May 6th? So they think they've still got some time. I've got the Lancers out. I'm really hoping that there's a hole in Nilly's wall. But I guess for YouTube content's sake, that would be horrible because then that would lead to a pretty fast game. Resources collected is super even. The downside for me is I cannot drop a second town center, which is really going to be a big theme in this one. I cannot do that because I built that tower. And so I knew I would need some army first. And so I figured, let's go for just 1 on stone, take our time. This army could be really solid. Like, Lancers lack HP. I only have 60 HP. So skirmishers could be good against that. And Nilly's going to mix in Cav Archers and immediately clicks Heavy Cav Archers. So this upgrade is normally 900 food, 500 gold. That's now cheaper. It's 50% off. That adds +1 attack to CA. And that adds +10 HP. Now, the reason it's 50% off, I know that sounds OP, and there's a pasture upgrade, by the way, which we'll have some data for on the right side. That'll increase the work rate for the resources, the food here. But the reason it's 50% off is because they don't get bloodlines, right? So you're still only 60 HP, but 7 plus 2 attack is pretty insane. That does not add range. So I fall back, and I am basically waiting for him. I saw a couple Cav Archers. I knew he'd be coming out. Nilly's obsessed with getting relics. So every time I play Nilly, I'm always trying to get relics as quickly as possible. Especially when I can't build a second town center. I figured, why not? And Rocket Cart is here. I saw Heavy Cav Archer and was like, oh, forgot about that. My Lancers really don't have enough firepower on their own to engage against Heavy CA. Like 9 damage, 2 Pierce Armor, or 1 Pierce Armor is crazy. So he comes in. I think he remembered I had some weak villagers on that gold from earlier. And I had shifted some of them away, and I think he even healed them up with the monk. But I know he's either coming here or he's coming here, right? I had that knowledge. That's the reason I built the outpost there. And so my rocket carts are going to hold the front, and here he goes. Cav Archers and their mobility, right? Always super annoying to deal with. And so I was kind of debating here. I really wanted a town center. Unfortunately, I'm 9 stone away. But I was really debating on how I manage this, and I decided making some skirms would make sense if I'm up against Cav Archers. Siege alone might not cut it. So we got 2 relics already. He's still 1 town center. He's going to go for a siege workshop as well. Lots of Cav Archers, though. And Cav Archers are much easier to control because they're fast. You can always decide on when to take the fights or when to not. So Nilly's doing a good job there, and he's forcing the proper reactions. He'll force a reaction here. And I have to move away. Rocket carts getting their shots there. And then he tries to pull in another group on this side. And I will say, as Nilly takes a shot from the rocket carts, obviously we're testing new things. We have both played better, okay? I'm saying that in advance for both of us. Don't judge us too harshly. New units, early in the morning. And at least early in the morning for me. But Lancers, they attack very fast with the Jurchens. We got a couple hits there as Cav Archers are weak here as well. That's a pretty good moment for us. I was really stubborn here. Would have loved to mark it. I really should probably be on the second town center. Hasn't happened yet. Nilly sees the 1 rocket cart, snipes it. Rocket carts are not cheap. And he's doing a great job of being a nerd here. Congratulations, Nilly. You're an amazing nerd. And tries to get a little too nerdy here. Runs into skirms, runs into Lancers. 6-4 eco KD. Both of us under a minute of vital TC. This is where, though, we both need to invest into that eco a little bit more. But we're so micro heavy. So this starts to get really intense. Like we're both a bit more macro oriented players. Normally the TCs come down. And this gets really insane. So I've got the skirms. Thank God I added the skirms, because if I don't have skirms against these things, it's going to be a problem. But he's got still some leftover skirms of his own. My Lancers disappear. He's got a significant army advantage right now. My gold's right here. This tower helped against a feudal age army is not a good tower to have right now. And we're having some problems. Look how fast those rocket carts go down to the heavy CA. That's 9 attack in Castle Age. Now, he doesn't have elite skirm. And I'm going to pull off of this gold. I'm just about to get relic number 3, which is an amazing find for me. We're taking out the skirms he has on the front. We're also getting +2 armor. And we're hoping for a big shot, and we get it. That's exactly what we wanted there. We just needed to take care of his rocket cart, because that's the main thing that threatened our skirms. But guys, like, do you see how fast the CA kill everything? I think this is insanely strong. I think pastures and heavy Cav Archer and Castle Age is insane. So it's 9 attack. The skirms have 6 pierce armor. So it's 3 damage a hit. Like, that's no joke. You can kind of compare it to the Bohemians right now. The Bohemians get chemistry in Castle Age. And having 8 attack on the crossbows, that is great against Castle Age skirms and siege. But now you have like 1 damage on top of that, plus you have the mobility. So I really think that's going to be... I don't know, I'm not going to speculate on balance long term, on like if they'll make adjustments to it, but it kind of feels like that is going to be insane for Arabia players. The pastures seem really smooth as well, and Nilly's eco is looking much better now. He's got TC number 2, he's got TC number 3. And I've still got to respect this. Unfortunately, he's right here next to the hill. Oh, now he's getting, how do I say this? Pastoralism? So that's a pasture upgrade. So I think he had clicked that before and decided against that now. But he knows I have the 4 relics in that monastery as well. So yeah, I'm still 1 TC. Not where you'd want to be. Second TC comes up. And I just know I'm going to die if this continues. And I need to change something, right? And I say this a lot when I'm casting mid-elo and low-elo as kind of like a coaching tool. I say, guys, if things are going bad for you, just go somewhere else, right? Like, stop taking the fight that's horrible for you. Ask questions of your opponent, and that's what we're going to do right here. Now, Nili's position, this is a great position to push. He sees the monastery. He sees my gold. I decided I have to stop this here. So I drop a guard tower here and a guard tower here. Now, I'm sure he's very confused because he hasn't seen my army at all in a while. And now I'm here with some skirmishers. So it's just kind of funny how it could change things a little bit. Skirms are out. He's not expecting that. And there he goes. He wanted to snag that relic, but my guard tower kills the monk. Typical Nili. And all of his rally points for the cav archers was set forward. So he's lost, what, 3 or 4 cav archers? I would have never killed 3 or 4 cav archers at home. These rocket carts are insane against buildings. Now, I don't know how much better they are than mangonels, but I know they feel better to me. Because normally, mangonels would be scared of a single guard tower with bodkin and ballistics. Able to do a little bit of damage with our skirms. And things are busy for me at home because I have the garrison, excuse me. And I'm trying to kill those rocket carts there. Unfortunately, here, I should probably show this because Nili will be mad. Unfortunately, I was distracted. And because I was distracted, army of skirmishers goes down. Really painful loss for me. Otherwise, I think I could have whittled down these lancers and gotten away. But things are just not looking good for your boy right now. Unless your boy is Nili, then it's looking very good for him. He's on 3 TCs. I'm in recovery mode. I'm in comeback mode. So, as, you know, the fights happen here, I kind of want to just look at tech trees, right? Remember, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking I just need to survive for now. But my best cavalry unit is pretty much my unique unit. Going Lancers against super solid cav archers isn't a good play, in my opinion. So it would have to be the Iron Pagoda, which we're very far from. In Nili's case, as he's just melting my rocket carts. Rocket carts are fragile. They're strong, but they're fragile. It's still only 45 HP, which is part of it. But in Nili's case, his cavalry as well also cannot make knights. Obviously can't make elephants, so it's more of like a camel lancer type civ. But then when you don't get bloodlines, it's not very strong. So when you're thinking about the Katans, you might be thinking a little bit more about the Fire Lancers, which is something we haven't seen yet in this game. I'd also get Fire Lancers. And if not Fire Lancers, maybe more of the unique unit, which we could see a little bit later. Forgive me, I actually forget the name of that right now. And that's not listed here. So I'm still learning. Oh, I think it's the Li Dao. The Liao Dao. Pronunciations will improve over time. Anyways, I'm imping. I'm like super low eco imp. We're going primarily range units though. I needed something. I had all those resources. I couldn't spend it on army fast enough, so imp made the most sense. And here comes Nili to drop this castle. Now, to me, I feel like this is a bit of a tentative castle. I actually would have loved Nili to just castle here. I mean, I know I would have hated it. But, like, I feel like from a spectator's point of view, I would say a castle on that hill, and I'm really in trouble. But he didn't want to throw the game because he knew he had the lead. That would be the logic behind it. This still takes some gold from me. This still controls the game. And here are the Li Dao. Liao Dao? Li Dao? Well, I've done no research on pronunciations. As per usual, it will get better. So, he's on the way to imp as well. Massive eco lead at this stage. Monastery still somehow holding all those relics for me, which is nice. That's going to change, though, as he really wants to snag one of them. He tried before. And my cav archers are out on the side here. And I need a counterattack. Bracer's on the way. Heavy cav archer for me as well. I figured, why not? And Nili used his cav archers to tank so he can get one of those relics. But Nili doesn't have a lot of skirms out. He is adding some. There is also the rocket cart. I'm hoping with imp upgrades, I've got an opportunity. Obviously, we're behind. But I need the imp upgrades to make a difference here. And clearly, I'm focused on my micro. I was distracted. I was adding farms or something. I don't remember. But yeah, I've got the hill. I've got heavy CA. 7+3. His skirms are going to die pretty quickly here. So I was pretty happy with that. First treb is on the way from this castle. I kind of placed this because I couldn't place it over here. But now I've got an army here. So now I can come back to this hill and I can reclaim this stone. Cav archers getting hit by the rocket carts, which I probably could focus down. But again, we're behind. We're macroing a little bit. I think I just selected to get those relics back. And Nili's castle sniped my rocket carts. It's kind of interesting. I say it. I knew the castle existed because I just played the game. But I actually didn't see that castle earlier. Or at least I misclicked. It surprised me. Losing the rocket carts was painful. And this whole game continues to be painful for me. So this unit here. 9+2 attack. You've got the melee armors better than the pierce, so it's really not a great addition against ranged units from what I'm seeing. We'll see this more in some other games. And maybe we can even look at it and see like what the tech tree says it's good at, etc. But, you know, from my perspective... Oh, this is interesting. So Capture Age still doesn't have the unique text up here properly for me. From my perspective, Nili just kind of felt like he needed a little bit more there, right? And he's still learning. He didn't necessarily know how that would pan out. Now, he'll send some cav archers to the back to raid. He's still got that healthy 20 eco lead. And he notices my trebs are on the way. I've got to pack this one up. But we're still, believe it or not, we're still in this game. Because there's a little bit of confusion for Nili on what to make right now. He doesn't know what to do if it's not cav archers. So maybe this civ's a little one-sided in that regard. Castle goes up for us, so we've got 2. We're going to snag relic number 3, so it's 3-2 there. And he's got this castle here all on its own on the front. If I can take this out, I can reclaim this gold, and we can figure something out. Nili's still adding pastures. Again, I will experiment more with pastures and kind of let you guys know how it works. Maybe make some videos on that. We'll see. I think I'm going to focus primarily on just commentary and comparing the units and the economies in competitive games, because that's more my vibe. But I definitely need to get a feel for the pastures. Just looking at Nili's idols there makes me wonder, you know, what's happening there. I feel like there's a max on how many vills you can have on each pasture, and that's what that is. Yeah, it looks like 2 per pasture. Party will have floated some stats in here for you on pastures as we go, so you guys will have some of the data as we're working hard on a bunch of videos here. But okay, so there's another pasture upgrade for Nili, so more food income flying in. Again, the cost on these, all that's going to be interesting to note, and what that improves. I don't have those numbers memorized. But we kill some vills, we take control, and we're starting to cook up a little bit. I've got a big ball of skirms. And I knew his civ didn't get bloodlines. Now, the civ does get hussar, so I think technically you should consider hussar. But look at this, guys. We also have the mounted trebuchet. 2 camels, some wood in between. I mean, what more do you want to start your day? That sounded weak. That was odd. But we've got mounted trebuchet, 10 range... And that in combination with the rocket carts could be very strong because the rocket carts lack the range. Rocket carts are basically better against units. The mounted trebs from the Siege Workshop can actually be helpful against buildings. Like, more helpful against buildings. But there's only 1 projectile. So they're not insane compared to, say, like rocket carts or onagers because it's more of a singular projectile. But here's my Iron Pagoda. I figured he was going to go to skirms because I've been on skirms here. And like I said, we took a long time to get going in this game, but we're kind of cooking a little bit. And he has been building those pastures nonstop. He's going to upgrade to heavy rocket cart. Heavy rocket cart's very strong. It's also more accessible than something like Siege Onager, right? Because Siege Onager, you need to go for Onager, and then you need to go for SO. It's very expensive. Heavy Rocket Cart, the price is, well, we'll have that on screen. I think it's around 1,000 resources, maybe a little bit more. Again, it's just one upgrade. If I recall, it's like maybe 600 or 700 wood, 500 or 600 gold. But Nilly has lost control of this game. He's lost control of this game. He's lost control of the wheel. The car is veering off course here. And this is a very good moment for me to take some control back, which I haven't really had in a very long time. So my Cav Archers, not many of them, but I can move over here, get some raids. And just like we saw before from Nilly, you take control in one area, you can use it to control the next. Especially if you've got mobility. But everywhere I'm going, I'm seeing Siege and I'm seeing Skirms from him. And he's really trying to upgrade the champion line right now. These Skirms I knew would die, so I let them fight. What you're not seeing is all the eco. I knew if I lost these castles, I lose the game. If I lose these castles, it's game over. These castles are key to me. And the Skirms see champions? And then also rocket carts. That's crazy, dude. I think the big one, guys, is melee attack upgrades. Melee attack upgrade effects are doubled. So right now, he should have +2 attack, and he's got +4. So that would apply to infantry and cav, of course, right? So all of his melee units are going to have insane damage output. But I'm starting to make these iron pagodas. These bad boys aren't bad at all. I'll talk more about them in a second. But like I said, it's been an interesting game. We've got to see the eco. We got to see some of the unique bonuses play out. And now we're shifting more towards the heavy comps. I've got the relic advantage. I don't have the eco advantage. I'm still 10k res behind, but I'm coming back in that regard slowly. And I'm aware of this gold's over here. Nilly's been soaking that up for a while. The nice thing for Nilly is his comp doesn't really cost a lot of gold. Like, that's actually sick. I'm wondering as well, I'm not accustomed to what the infantry reflecting damage is going to look like. We might need to rewatch a couple fights. I don't think Nilly got that tech yet. In fact, here, I'm going to double check that in-game, and we can continue on with the cast after a short edit. Yeah, so I don't know if it showed up on screen. My apologies. He did get that tech. So he has Lemular armor. There should be some damage reflected. And again, Capture H just isn't quite prepared for this yet. But you don't get Blast Furnace with this civ, I guess. So, and that should be accurate here. So you're still maxed +4 on the melee attack, now that I think about it. I guess that doubling... Is that even correct? So I guess... It says effect is doubled, but it might not show double attack, right? I'm going to seem like an idiot for you guys in the video, but I'm really thinking about this now. I got lots of things to figure out here. Big fight. He's got the heavy rocket carts to snipe my trebs. I need to defend. Now, my unit, we're going to look at HP and see if damage is reflected here back towards my unit. But my unit's got like almost like a shield, so it tanks the first melee hit, which is huge. It's especially big against Halb, because you kill Halbs faster, which is supposed to be a counter unit. And I shred there. Like, these Iron Pagodas, they're not cheap. They're very costly, in fact. But 13 + 2 attack, the armor's solid, and then you have that regenerating shield. But unfortunately for me, Nilly's got a position on me right now, and it's kind of tough for me to move in. Now, I got my unique tech where my fortifications regenerate. Let me go back and just show you this again. So I took some damage on this castle. And obviously, I guess I am repairing it, so it's not as clear. But it's regenerating 500 HP per minute as well. I think it's going to be one of the most frustrating upgrades to play against. I think it's very strong. And the upgrade is cheap. So yeah, my castle's just straight up regenerating. And I didn't spend that many resources for it. So yeah, wanted to go back to show you that. And so here's kind of a repeat look at the fight. But guys, Fire Lancers are going to be nuts. They have the ranged attack, and then they switch to a melee mode while the range regenerates. But they've got really solid armor for what they do. They also cost wood and gold, so they don't cost food. And I think it's a great unit for Nilly to have in the comp. Obviously, we do end up winning the fight. That's good for us. I tried my best to shift my focus around to snipe the trebs, but Nilly's keeping those lancers nice and tight and right next to the trebs. And a lot of his army's just cheap, right? Skirms, cheap. Fire lancers, cheap. Pagodas, expensive. But I did get this gold. So I have this gold and I got 3 relics. I'm feeling pretty decent about that. Not feeling so decent that this castle's going to go down. But, I mean, in the end, I probably just had to give it up. Now, this might feel like a bad castle. But if he moves in to take this castle, he overextends past his hill. That hill is really valuable for him. So I'm in a rough spot. I need to max out. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what do I have against fire lancers? What do I have against infantry? And now we get to see the grenadiers here. Now, you guys are probably surprised I didn't say grenadiers. Don't think that's it. Might be a slightly better way to say it, but here we go. This is basically a unique hand cannon, and these bad boys chuck grenades. That is, they're holding homemade bombs right now. So it's an expensive comp because it's gold, and it's also my main unit is gold. But yeah, now critically, something that I forgot is that my civ does get bombard cannon. And so I really think I needed some bombard cannons here to snipe these trebs. But we're still new to this. I didn't know. And so unfortunately, I'm trying to use my grenadiers to do the damage here. You can see they're doing a really nice job. Big explosion sounds anyways. But they are very vulnerable as well. So they do a lot of damage, but they're only 35 HP. So it's pretty much similar to a normal hand cannon in that regard. The difference is I believe I can make these in Castle Age, which I've tested as well. And again, you know, similar maybe to the Bohemians getting hand cannon in Castle Age. We're holding. I probably wouldn't be holding without the regeneration tech. We get through the gate. Neely's doing a great job at fortifying all this, and he's just got such a tough army to engage into. I think if I had more gold, which I'm really struggling on right now, I would probably want to go for rocket carts myself. But again, bombard cannons, like a couple bombard cannons back here to snipe this would be really strong for me. Look at the castles for Nilly. Look at the pastures. He's pasteurized, man. He's super pasteurized. And I don't know what these vills are doing. Did we just encounter a bug? We might have just encountered a bug. That's hilarious, though. We sniped some vills over here on this gold. I know at this point I'm probably going to give up. I'm going to lose this castle. But I'm hoping that a mix now of grenadiers and skirms can work against these lancers. Did you see that volley there? That was insane. And now you can almost use them as a halb to get in close. But it's like way stronger than a halb. But it costs gold. 85 HP, 10 plus 4 attack. These things are insanely strong, and my pagodas were so costly. We'll trade castles, essentially. I take out that castle, which is critically near this gold, which is important. I'm trying to back away. I'm trying to hit and run. Figuring my skirms will be doing something. There's 6 pierce armor units, though, so skirms are really not going to be doing a lot. They are technically doing something, though, so I can guess I'm correct there. And I'm now on, like, full trash comp. Very little gold income. It's become that late where I feel as though I've just got to go full trash. I have 50 skirms. And against what I'm seeing, skirms with a couple hand cannons in the mix could work very well. And Nilly slowly shifts his attention towards this castle. In late game, you want that castle set up. So Nilly's going to have 3. 1 in the middle. He's taking that gold, which is great. 1 in the north. 1 kind of like middle southish. But he's going to stonewall this, so I can't raid here anymore. And now I'm exposed here, and I don't have the stone to really do anything more. So this is like... I still got the 3 relics. The population saying maybe I'm in the game. It's turning into a late-game grind of an Arabia game. And I need more light cav on the field, so I just, you know, intentionally sacrificed a couple skirms there. That was not intentional. But I killed the rocket cart, so that's all that matters. And I'm doing my best to get into the pasture. With all my light cav, I'm getting blast furnace now, which I didn't have before. But he's, again, it's hard for me to get a gauge on how crazy his food eco is, but it seems pretty nuts. He's starting to drop stables, and now he's going to go for hussars. So, that's a problem for me. Now, his cavalry should regenerate HP in combat. And I'm very curious on... It doesn't look like he has the tech, at least, because Capture Age isn't showing it. Regenerating in combat's kind of unique, right? Yeah, I'm not seeing any regeneration, so it looks like he maybe didn't get that tech. Silly nilly. This was a test, bro. This was a test. It's all right. I didn't get my other tech as well. I didn't get thunderclap bombs. And we'll focus on that in another video. But we've never taken fights with these units before. Not like real in-game, heat-in-the-moment fights. And initially, I was feeling pretty good about the engagement because I sniped a lot of the siege. I've got hussars in queue. I've got skirms in queue. I'm falling back now. We are just stuck on generic units. I fall back to this castle. I figure that castle fire is going to do amazing things for me. And guys, I look back here like 2 seconds later and everything died. Like, I definitely viewed that as if that was Halbs. That's not Halbs. That's Fire Lancers. The Fire Lancers shred me. And Nilly wins the game. He'll have the trebs. He'll have the units here. Obviously, he is in a much better position from this stage. But yeah, very interesting game. Couple things that I learned while playing and now casting this game. I think that the heavy cav archers are in Castle Age is insanely good for the Arabia style meta. Like if you... It might not be good in late game, right? It's going to be worse than a lot of other civilizations' cav archers in late game. I think it's even worse than my cav archers in late game, the Jurchens here. But in early Castle Age, like you can do a lot. So, yeah, good for a map like Arabia or any open map because you can get that damage in fast. Plus, it also, you know, it's also like kind of scary as well. You show your opponent heavy CA, they can't do that. They could be very overwhelming. The pastures, everything I've heard from people I've talked to, even though I haven't done quite as much testing on it, is that the pastures are absolutely insane. I want to see the food eco now. Okay, I mean, this isn't that dissimilar to what the food eco might be like in a scenario where we were just farming. Because, like, how many farms did I end the game with? I'm farming with 60 farms. Let's say it's like 50 if some of them... No, they all seem to have farmers. And then he's got 33 pastures. What is that? 33 times 2 villagers working on it. That's equivalent to 66. So yeah, maybe pastures are incrementally better, but there could be other things that play into it. And pastures, you do have to have the pros and cons of how much you spend on it as well, which we didn't really dive into here. So I don't know about that. Rocket carts are insane if they get their hits, but they are weak. So I don't necessarily consider them broken. The reflecting melee damage is one that we're going to have to get a feel for. In all honesty, I don't think that's why he won any of the fights. I think he won the fights because he had great numbers of these Fire Lancers. I really do think of all the things, Fire Lancers are really, really solid. Have to have the gold for it. But I think shifting into that, if your opponent goes cav, is the natural play. And should be pretty easy. The other thing that's nice about it, guys, is you don't have to... He got elite in Imp. But, like, say Castle Age, late Castle Age, early Castle Age, you can still make regular Fire Lancers. It's not like you're making Spearmen and then have to upgrade to Pike. You're at least... You're one less step removed from getting maxed out with the elite upgrade. If any of that makes sense. So, yeah, a lot more to investigate here. There's other maps that would probably give us a better showcase of different types of units. This DLC is going to have 5 civs, and you know, some of them a little controversial, right? There's some additions that some people are in love with, and some additions that people are not in love with. This is my job, and I'm going to bring you guys some good games with this, get a feel, and of course, I'll give my opinions along the way. So keep an eye out on the channel, as I will be giving you guys games and action over the next few weeks leading up to the DLC coming out. There will still be other uploads from my typical content as well. I've been working very hard for this, so hope you guys are ready for the content. Give me your thoughts, and, you know, let me know what more you want to see from these 2 civs or any of these civs as well, because obviously we got a lot of testing to do. But thought it was a pretty good game. Thanks to Nilly for testing. Salutes for him. And we'll see him in a couple more testing games as well as maybe some others. I'm working on some stuff. Thank you, guys. See you in the next one.